Hello guys, welcome to this session. It's been a privilege to be able to come here to TechEd and walk these halls all week, waiting for my session near the end, waiting to get to face you guys. And honestly, you guys, you're awesome because you've understood that it's important to be in this session room at this time slot. I appreciate it, but I think probably mostly this is what's growing more than me, myself, but I'm the presenter, so you get me as well. I'm happy that you decided to come, and the thing that you understand is that you know you need to be lean, mean, and fast and awesome these days, right? You can be that with continuous delivery. This is a title Microsoft liked for my talk, with Team Foundation services and Windows Azure websites and so forth, but I like to call this talk Windows Azure Continuous Delivery Zen. That's the title that I like. And I'm going to talk a lot about continuous delivery and continuous integration. You know, some people call it that. I like to call it continuous delivery because that's really what it's all about for me. And you guys, again, you look like superheroes. Yeah, that's right. That's you guys. You're awesome. All right. So has your boss ever come into the office, demanding the latest demo environment for a customer meeting this afternoon or something like that? And you're like, today? And he's like, yeah, today. If I wanted it tomorrow, I'd swing by tomorrow, right? That's what he usually says. Has your tester ever wanted the latest features? Dude, I got to get the latest bits on the test server because otherwise that story won't be part of the sprint goal. I don't know that all testers sound like that, but they sound like that in our ears, when they come in. They do. And has either of you ever deployed the development connection string to live production? Man, I've done that. It's painful. It's horrible. And on Windows Azure, I've been a part of this platform for a long time. And in the beginning, it took like more than 20 minutes to deploy something, and it was just a pain to sit there and wait and watch. And if you did something wrong, nobody told you. You didn't get any indication that you had done a mistake or anything. It just didn't work once it got deployed, and you had to redo it again. Try doing that when you've, waiting those 20-plus minutes when you've deployed the development connection string to production. It's not good. I've done it. I'm still down here, by the way. It's the good place to be when you've deployed the development connection string to production. However, guys, today, now, with Windows Azure, you can almost get near instant deploy times. I'm going to show you this. And you can also get warnings for many of those errors that used to bother you before. And seriously, if it's really fast, and you get warnings, and you get lots of extra security, it doesn't matter if something goes wrong. You can just go back and redo it. It's all good. So remember the boss and the testers? Stuff that we're going to talk about here today is going to make these guys go away for good. And leave you guys with the uninterrupted development experience. Isn't that pretty? Let's hope so. My name is Magnus Martinsson, and I'm a Windows Azure Most Valuable Pilot. I work for Active Solution in Sweden. It's a .NET consultancy. And it's my privilege to be here with you guys. I also love doing community work. Did anybody take part in a global Windows Azure bootcamp? One! You're awesome. Well, all right, so we had about 5,000 people worldwide taking part of this event that was on April 27th. And we're going to do it again this spring, probably like next year, right? It's going to have to set it up right. We were in 92 locations worldwide. It was freaking awesome. Or fracking, I guess, right? It was awesome. So also I want to pull your attention to this before we get really going. It's the Sweden Windows Azure User Group, but we're doing an online event. Have any of you heard of AzureConf? AzureConf is one that Microsoft does. It's a good conference. So it's an online thing. This is pretty much like this, except that theirs is 1 day, ours is 2 days. It's going to be in European time, though, and we're going to record and put it on Channel 9, etc. But do take note of the link, because all of these guys, MVPs, all of them, a couple of Microsofties, are going to be the presenters. So that's going to be a rock star conference in September. Cool. why don't we kick it off with a first easy demo to get things sort of going. I'm going to go and create myself a brand new website on Windows Azure. Let's call it Magnus TechEd. Easy to remember. I've been staying away from using the name TechEd on my demos all week just to make sure that when I put up a new one here, I'll easily see which one it is. So it's the TechEd one at the bottom there. It's creating right now on Windows Azure. How many people are using Windows Azure today? All right, all of y'all. So you have seen this, most of you, but I figured we'd just put stuff into context, and I need a new website for my demos anyway, so I might as well do it from scratch. I can browse to my website. It's live right now, and if I want to go and publish it, I have a little website here, which is actually part of another demo that I might do for you guys if you want to. It's the demo that uses Git. I can just go and right-click on this guy and do publish. I think maybe all of you have seen this. But, so I get to my downloads folder. I need some way to publish. I need some publish settings. Oh, this is nice, limited. That is awesome. That is just phenomenal. Now what I'm going to do, let's refresh. Limited. Ain't that great? I got another account I can switch to, but, I'll see. Exciting. If all else fails, we'll go to video backups. I've done this before, all right? Once when I did this, there were actually, so there was preview, some of this is preview stuff, right? And once before when I did this, I did it at AzureConf. I was on live, Channel 9 feed, and everything started breaking down on me. Yeah, not good. So now it looks a little bit nicer. Let's hope limited does not reappear. And we'll go to my Magnus TechEd site there, download the publishing profile, save that to disk, and we go back to Visual Studio, and we can see the publishing profile there. Now, I just take that, say OK, and publish. And my website is now currently being compiled and deployed to Windows Azure to my website using web deploy. It's easy stuff, right? That's basics. Anybody had not seen that? All right, one guy. Awesome. Brave, sir. All right, so let's see. We're going to use this site for other demos, so it's coming up now. So here it is, and it's actually the new version already. OK, cool. Anyway, this is a web deploy demo. And just to show you guys how really fast this is, I'm just going to put up new version 2 there, because I've done this. I've done this on the phone with a client. It's like, I just want to show you this thing, and well, why don't you come over? You can't come over now. I really want to show you this thing. Seriously, just give me a minute, and I'll just hit publish. And I created a website and did a publish on the phone with him, and he was pretty impressed. All right, so new version 2. Even faster this time because all of the files were already uploaded. All right? Basic stuff. I just wanted to get the first demo out of the way, and I've booted the demo ghosts out of my stage area here because limited there was a bit of a, it's almost stopped my heart out, honestly. Cool. Changes. Or maybe I should say, changes! Changes, that's scary, right? We don't like these changes. We don't need these thinking changes. I use this image to portray the human inert resistance to change. We don't like changes. That's scary stuff. And when these wagons started appearing, rolling down the streets on their own, there were wagons that were automatically able to be mobile on their own, right? They were automobiles. They were really, really scary. People were like, it's the wagon of death. And, so they mounted sometimes horses' heads on them just to make sure that people didn't get so scared, right? And some of the early designs of these actually had a whip holder on them. That's great, a whip. Because, if you don't have a whip holder, where are you going to put the whip, right? Of course. Yes. So changes, not good. What are these changes you're talking about? Well, this is a Guthrie slide from the keynote, remember? he was showing us that you can do really powerful dev test scenarios on Windows Azure, and it's really cool. And when you go home at night, shut your computer down, you can shut your test environments down as well and not pay for anything. I was sitting there in the audience going like, oh my God, I've been talking about this for ages. I wanted to stand up going, yeah! But I didn't. I was mentally going, yeah. And then he said, well, also, we're now seeing per-minute billing. And I was like, amen, brother! Woo-hoo! Hallelujah! Because, I mean, I've been waiting for this. I've used to, before it was hourly billing, right? And we had to sort of remember to not deploy like 5 to the whole hour. Because not only was it per hour, right? It was per clock hour, right? So if you deployed something 5 to 10, then you paid for a whole hour, those 5 minutes, right? And then just continue on like that, right? But it's become much cheaper. And this, I mean, come on, guys. It's a no-brainer now. Like, if it wasn't before, this is just, so by show of hands, Windows Azure users in the room, MSDN subscribers, both hands. Have you activated your MSDN? Have you activated? Yes, that's right. That's right, because it's for free. Come on. My God. It's very cool. Plus, you can win a car. I'm totally going to win that car. Like, okay, so it's a lottery, but I'm going to have to find a way to game that system because I want the Aston Martin. That's my car. All right, moving on. So, continuous delivery, that's the scary change we're talking about. So here's the scenario, like the golden scenario, the perfect scenario for continuous delivery. Coding away, doing some code changes, checking in code, or pushing code, or whatever you do. You might have some type of repository you do, but it could be check in or it could be push, depending on your flavor. Build server picks that up. Oh, nice. Builds your code, runs your tests, bundles up a nice little package, and deploys straight into production. Or should I say, straight into production? Because that's scary, right? It's like, oh my God, dude, you can't do that. You can't go to production immediately. How crazy are you? I mean, we have sign-offs, we have the test manager, and he has to have his say, and all of these things. I agree. That's the way most people do it. But seriously, guys, how many startups today do you think take their hard-earned venture capital cash and go like, maybe we should buy some servers, right? And put them in some racks in the office and install them and set them up proper? Newsflash, I guess you already know. No startups think like this. They all think cloud right out of the box, and they never look back. Startups today are never going to own any servers at all. It's going to be all online. And they go with continuous delivery into production. I know several companies that does this. When you think about that for a minute, what does that mean to you guys? I mean, if you're not doing it today, could you be? Right? You might. Or not. But you don't have to. You don't have to go into production with this stuff. You can go into your dev test environments as well, right? And that you have to do. Like, really have to do. Get those testers out of your office. Never come back. I'm changing the locks. I'm switching Twitter handles, for Christ's sake, just to get rid of them. All right. So you go code, check in, build, test, deploy to test, right? Nice. Beautiful. That's what we want. And I guess, regardless of the scenario that you use, it all comes down to these 3 little words. I'm thinking you might be able to guess. Automate, automate, automate. You just, like, everything that can be automated must be automated. Wonder who said that. Oh, that was me. Now, luckily, guys, there is some support for this in Windows Azure. Lucky for us. I'm going to digress slightly and talk about the 3 different ways to deploy applications to Windows Azure. I'm going to go fast because we want to get to the websites because that's where most of my demos are. I have a demo on cloud services as well, but I don't have any demos on virtual machines. Now, I love virtual machines. They're so cool. Any DevOps in the room? DevOps? A couple of people feel like so this is mostly a dev session, I guess. IT pros in the room? One brave IT pro. Welcome, sir. Extra welcome to you because PowerShell is so empowering, right? That is what it is. It is phenomenal. I love PowerShell, and I love it's magic to me, like the things that you do. My God. So not using infrastructure as a service, using, for instance, platform as a service instead is pretty cool too. And when you think about platform as a service, that's where Microsoft started their journey to the cloud, right? That's where they got going in the cloud with platform as a service. And that's actually more difficult to do. I mean, if you're just doing infrastructure as a service, that's not easy, I suppose. Then you're not even bothering with doing all the hard stuff, the things that enable you as developers to just focus on one thing. Well, okay, first, get your boss out of the office. Second, get the testers out of the office. Third, focus on just one thing, the uninterrupted development experience. You have to only focus on business, your development, and then you take that product and that data that comes with it and deploy it to Azure, you're done. Like, you don't have to think about the fact that it's running on a virtual machine. It does, but you don't care. The fact that it has an OS, sure it does, but you don't care, right? Microsoft takes care of everything for you, patches and everything, and it's just beautiful. I like that. That's the way I want to live. And one point, I guess, is kind of obvious here, whether you're using infrastructure as a service or platform as a service. Still, you got to think about how to, I mean, if you're moving your virtual machines, let's say this, if you're moving your virtual machines to Azure, you might just get on the cloud real fast, and that's good. But you're not really using the platform, right? Am I right? You got to start using the service bus or caching or security stuff or other things that are in the platform just pick up and use. And that's also important to think about, sort of start to migrate over towards cloud services or to the websites if that is something that you can do. If your website is truly just a website, right, it might be awesome content-wise, but it's Xcopy deployable, it's a website, you should definitely go to these guys. And, well, there will be general availability really soon, right? Nobody knows when that is. I wonder. Build! Sorry, I didn't say that. This is my professional guess that it will be GA at build. I'm not saying that. I don't work for Microsoft. I can't tell you that it will be, but I'm guessing, right? I think so. All right, so websites, that's where most of our demos are today. And I have a bunch of demos. I've been talking pretty much up until now, and like the rest of this session is going to be demos only, right? But I wanted to set the context. It's important. So let's talk about beliefs before we go into demos. What Microsoft believes. Apparently, Microsoft believes that PaaS provides the best foundation for creating, running, and managing custom applications. They still believe that. And when they say that, I mean, they're not saying that that Microsoft believes that PaaS provides an okay foundation or a really good one. They say it's the best one. Does that mean that they don't care too much about IaaS? Of course not. IaaS is a great place to be. Some things just work better as IaaS. And you have to automate more stuff with startup scripts and things. I'm not going to go very much into startup scripts and things like that today. But if you guys want to have a conversation with me about that, I've done pretty much every fun thing you can do with a cloud service in startups. Like when you couldn't use .NET 4.5, you can now. But when you couldn't do that, I installed it in my startup task, right? You can do anything you like because you have full control of your PaaS environment. Not the same for websites, though, because that's just a website. But still, this belief is something to be aware of and think about also what it means for your business. Can you move away from IaaS? Can I, as a developer, develop something that I can give to my IT pros and give them a pass for not doing another IaaS, right? Yeah, got that right. Cool. This is the old, I made it kind of gray and old looking. This is the first slide that Microsoft put up for when they announced websites. Here are all the publishing methods that you can use. I'm not going to show you FTP. I mean, FTP is cute, but still, yeah. I've showed you web deploy. That's fun, too, just to get a site up and running for our demos. And I'm going to give you some options. I'm happy to talk only today about the title of my talk. The Microsoft title of my talk says that it's about Team Foundation Services and websites. I'm happy to talk to you guys today only about Team Foundation Services and websites, if that's what you like. But I'm going to give you some options. So I put up this slide after a while of talking about this stuff. So this slide more shows you that, okay, so now you know that you can do Codeplex and Bitbucket in GitHub. That's a while back. Those were the options, plus my secret custom option. Now, the landscape kind of looks more like this today. And I mean, now you can do like Visual Studio version, and you can use this box right there. That's Dropbox, actually. And some of you might be wondering why I'm using a laser pointer. I think that's kind of impolite, because laser pointers are like good for like one thing only, right? That's what laser pointers are good for. I just wanted to point that out to you. That I'm not going to do that anymore. Sorry. All right. So I'm sorry. The publishing methods are these ones now, and Git is up there twice. One of them is external Git source if you have your own Git server. And the other one is if you just have a local one on your own box. And GitHub, of course, is Git. Duh. GitHub supports Mercurial? No. And Codeplex and Bitbucket support Mercurial as well as Git, and you can use either. I'm going to use Git today. If you want to see a Git demo, you decide. But I'll show Git if that's the case. And then I have the custom secret one. All right? Do you think I've sort of pushed for my custom secret one enough times now? All right, you got it? All right, not enough times. Okay, one more. No, kidding. Guys, here are all my demos. So I just couldn't stop doing demos or preparing demos, and I've done this talk before, basically. I've just built more and more demos for this. So I can show you, any one you like, and not in any particular order, on my account. And if you like, you have a choice here. You can totally say, dude, your title of the session says Team Foundation Services. Let's stay there. That's okay with me. It's up to you. So, anyone call out a demo? Yes, sir.
Team Foundation.
Team Foundation Services.
Sorry, but I'm an IT pro and I run Team Foundation.
That is cool. I'll start there for you, sir. My pleasure. My pleasure. Absolutely. My pleasure. My pleasure.
You can do it quick.
No, not at all. I'll do it thorough. I'll do it right. I'll do it right, sir. Team Foundation Service. Let's go. I'm gonna switch. I gotta switch to my other demo solution. TF Service demo. Oh, wait a minute. I gotta start right. All right, starting over. So let's do the Magnus TechEd site, and we need to hook that up to my Team Foundation Service project. Except that I don't have one yet. Now, I just want to draw your attention to did you guys get this? Did you get your visualstudio.com account, your Team Foundation Service account, your own name? Yep. Some people are going, yep. Your company name, perhaps? Get it while it's hot. I think that's cool. Yeah, I like that. There are some cool people in the room. Awesome. So I'm going to create myself just a new team project. And let's call it TechEd. That sounds good to me. And actually, usually it's quite quick. Let's hope so. I don't know how many of these demo ones I have. Lots of them. Creating a team project. Dun, 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 dun. Huh. I'm going to do one thing while we wait, and that is to copy my code. So I have some code here that I'm going to drop in. I think it's done now. Yeah. Navigate to project. So here's my new empty Team Foundation Service project. I can add team members and things like that, and work items and all of that goodness. I think I just chose, which one did I choose? I don't even know. I chose the Scrum template, I think. All right. So now what we need to do is connect to this bad boy. Wait a minute. Let me just... Oh, yeah, I got to close that one. But that's just because it was the Git one. We'll get back to it, maybe. Yeah, not so funny. So we have one called TechEd, my newly created version, and I'm connecting to Visual Studio through Visual Studio to visualstudio.com. That was almost difficult to say. If I stumble on the words, it's because I'm Norwegian, no, Swedish. All right, so here's my site, and here's my code. What I want to do now is I want to go and get myself go home and get myself a source control explorer and see that I have my TechEd folder there, which is not mapped to any path. So let's go and get this path and drop down to it and say, would you like to get this stuff? Okay, got it. I've actually used this folder, so let's just go and create ourselves a new one. Apparently Visual Studio remembered that I had already used this folder. We'll just use another folder. It's all the same. So would you like to get that stuff now? Yes, I get my build process templates downloaded if I want to. I don't have to, but I just got them. And here's my demo site that I've already prepared. Paste that in there. And I have open solution time. Let's do that. And we open the solution. Now, this little guy is quite smart because it's going to understand something here in Windows Azure in the portal. So I have my code in here now. I haven't added it yet. Let's just add it to source control as well. Add solution source control. And it just gets added. Cool. Now, I haven't done anything in the portal yet with my Magnus TechEd demo. But we will now set up deployment from source control, Team Foundation Service. Here we have all the options. We'll just go Team Foundation Service. We'll enter Magnus. And we'll authorize. I'm already logged in, so I'll accept this, just a one-time thing. And now it is connecting up, and we pick the TechEd one, and we're good to go. Now, I haven't checked in any code yet, as you know. So I will wait until this thing refreshes itself once it's connected up on both ends. And it says now that TFS will build and deploy your project to Windows Azure on your next check-in, which is why I didn't check in first. So let's go and do that. Let's go and check in. All of my stuff. Let's call that my initial blah, blah, blah. This is my initial blah, blah. I'll check that in. It's checked in. And of course, now we're wondering where it is. It's right here. We'll go under build. We could go under code and see the code, but the build stuff is more fun. And here's my build. And it's going to launch itself, and it takes a little bit of time to warm up. And while it's warming up is, of course, finding itself a build agent, which is available. And let's hope that we get one real fast. This could take a little time. Any questions so far? Easy stuff? Good.
Is there a way to integrate like unit testing in this?
This is a good question. If I could pay, I could pay you. But if I could pay you for this question, yeah. That's a great question. Hang on. Here's a buck for you, sir. That is an awesome question. You know why this is an awesome question? Because in a little while, this will become obvious for you. Yeah. Any other really good questions? Now everybody's going to ask questions. All right, I got more money. Yes, sir. So you're not allowed to use the MSDN credits for production environments, right? But I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, they have to call you and check. Like, they can't tell a difference. The portal doesn't know that there's a difference. There's nothing implemented that I know of, but you're not allowed to violate the license. So that's the end. I'm sorry? Yeah. Yeah. So seriously, a friend of mine got called up by some kind of operator from Microsoft asking the question, basically, I received that you have deployed this service here under your MFCN subscription. What is it for? So really, they can check. But I know a lot of people, not me, I know a lot of people who have production stuff on their MSDN accounts, but the stuff that I don't have on there is community stuff, and we've asked that question already. Like, is there a way for community things like .NET development communities and others to have free hosting? Right? Yes, sir.
Let's say I have a production instances.
Yep.
I have the staging instances. I want to continue delivering staging, and before I do that, I run a unit test, deploy, run my integration test. If that goes well, I want to swap the staging to the production.
Now we're talking about cloud services. Yeah, I'm talking about websites right now, but I have the cloud service demo. It's right there as well. Anybody nervous right now? Something broke. I'm not nervous. Apparently, a test called some test, broke. And that's not good. So we got to go back to Visual Studio and find the culprit. Oh. So is there a test called some test? There is. Oh. All right. So this test is supposed to fail. It says Git right there, but that's wrong. Okay. So that's actually the wrong text a little bit, but it doesn't matter. It still shows you that assert fail is not good. Oh, I've changed language setting there. Assert fail is not a good thing, so we have to go and redo the check-in. Fix that test. All right, that's a good check-in comment right there. It really is. Fix the test. I only have one test, so it's very clear. All right. It's extremely clear. Best checking comment ever. All right, so now it's going to work. So you're correct, sir. There is a way to integrate because it's out of the box. Yes, that is cool. That is cool. Which testing framework is that, sir? I'm sorry, that's? Fakes. Don't know. But what I do know, and I just asked this question, what I do know is that if you don't like the build agent, you can bring your own. So it's completely possible somewhere down, I haven't checked yet, but because I learned this now. Somewhere down in the documentation for this thing, you can find that there's a way for you to deploy your own build agent and connect that and use it. So if you don't like the setup on the ones that Microsoft give you, roll your own, right? You can run it as a virtual machine in Windows Azure, for instance, right? Yes, sir.
Is there a way to be notified by a build phase?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I'm automatically notified by the build fail. I don't know that I have that installed on this box though. But there's this toaster thing, and yeah, you can get all of those notifications things as you know, as usual. Let me see what that is. I'm not so I haven't used on very many projects used this live myself, right? But it's in here somewhere. It's in the yeah, that's right. It's in the settings, right? Even up here. Alerts. That's right. So this is a whole other part of the portal. But you can go in here and mess things up proper and set it up and get notifications and all of that. Just the way it usually is. I suppose that, I mean, if you go down to specifics, feature questions, and things like that, you're probably going to find quite a few features that are not yet available in the Team Foundation service, which are available in the Team Foundation server. Well, that will be the case for a while. But I also know, if you compare to, for instance, Windows Azure SQL Database, that the version of Windows Azure SQL Database is further down the line, right? The version number is higher than the current release of SQL Server. And that's going to continue, that's going to be the case with all of the products that move to Windows Azure, like this one. It's going to be the case, yes. Another question. I love all the questions. Yeah. You can do pretty much all the same things that you normally can. Let me just get out of this screen again. Even from inside of Visual Studio, you can go pending changes. Let's go to builds. You have your build there. You have your build definition, and you can edit that, and you get basically the same stuff. So I mean. Again, I'm sure there are specific things that you cannot do, right, that you can do on Team Foundation server today, but you can do a lot of them, many of the same things. Yes, sir? All right, so that's a very specific question, and I'm not sure I can answer it right now, but I can find out for you. All right. Okay, I love all the questions. That's phenomenal. Now, I have a bunch of demos, so I mean, we'll go until the time runs out. And if you want to talk to me more, I'll stand outside of the room after the session, and then I'll probably head down to the exhibition area in the Windows Azure booth for a while. If anybody wants to join me down there, we can just continue talking. And if there's a specific demo that we didn't get to in this talk, you know, we'll do it down there. But we have some time. So let's see if do we have website? That's the first thing we want to know now. Oh, it seems good, right? Completed, green, seems awesome. Refresh. And it's there. Now, on every check-in, obviously, this story will repeat itself and go over and over again and do the same thing. So my comment on the Team Foundation service is that it's really awesome, and I love to use it. Not yet does a lot of my customers use it, though. But they will, because they'll see the light. And this runs the tests, and you can configure everything, and it's just pretty. Compare that to the just let's integrate with Git. It doesn't run the tests right now. Might do in the future, but it doesn't do it right now. And also you can, just a second, I'll be right with you, sir. Also there are two source control options in the Team Foundation service now, and in the next release they said of Team Foundation Server, gotta say that, the right one. The next release of Team Foundation Server will also support Git source control if you like Git source control. So I know for a fact that Microsoft is working on giving us a continuous delivery version of Team Foundation Service with Git source control. It doesn't work today. Only the standard version source control works today with continuous integration. But they're working on it. It's going to be around real soon. Yes, sir. Uh-huh.
It's great when the unit tests are all running on the deploy.
Right.
From the build standpoint, because if you can't run it until the CI is actually deployed, I haven't really been able to get that working as well as I normally do on my local development stuff.
Right. I agree. I haven't gotten into that a lot yet. Has anyone done this? Did you hear the question? So the question is, I've forgotten to repeat the questions. I've had a lot of good questions, but nobody who sees the video knows this. Okay, sorry. So functional testing is the question. You want to get functional testing into this, and you want to know how to do it, basically.
Yeah,
right.
I usually just put it as a post-deploy step in the build.
Yeah.
On the build server. And bring out the communication back that the deployment is successful to then kick off the next step seems to be missing.
Right.
And I'll run it manually. So far, it's cut 30% off of my development time, so it's great. But I'm just trying to get everything.
Yeah. I haven't personally done this. I'm sure there are lots of things you can ask me that I haven't tested yet. Yeah. Yes, sir. So no, I don't, but excuse me. The cool thing is that you got all the templates. So you can mess those up any way you like, right? I'm sure you can mess them up good. You can just go ahead and get into those and copy those. In fact, so I say that I have a demo here on using Team Foundation Server. I really don't. It's more of a discussion. Like if I want to have that scenario right now, I don't want to use the Team Foundation Service. We have a Team Foundation Server. Well, continue to use it. I'm happy for you guys. If you want to set that up right now, probably create an account on the Team Foundation Service, and get all the templates from there, and then copy that, emulate that behavior, and build your own, roll your own, basically. That's the key right now to doing it with Team Foundation Server, right? But there will be support for this. Yeah, I think so. I bet you could customize this like you normally do, right? Yeah? Yeah. 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 As far as I know, yes. So Azure will, yeah, if you modify these build templates, these are the ones that you're using. Yes. Cool. You have a lot of funny questions on Team Foundation Service. This is awesome. Yes? Yeah, that's a good question. I've spoken to some people about migrating a Team Foundation Server to Team Foundation Service. And so apparently there are some tools for this, but not any like Microsoft supported. There's this, I can't even remember the name of I should have known. But if you walk with me down, I'll connect with you with the right people. I heard them talk about this yesterday. Some people that I was in a lunch meeting, and the same question was asked there. So, yeah, in the future, there will probably be a happy place where you can sort of migrate things and get version history and stuff. But so far as I know now, you can migrate, you can copy stuff out and put it in of your Team Foundation server and put it in the cloud in the Team Foundation service. But it's all going to be like the history is going to be squashed and stuff like that. You're going to get like the history timestamps won't be correct. So they'll be like the time you imported them and stuff. But apparently there's some open source project that can do some other version control to Team Foundation server, and Yeah, that's exactly the word that it will come. That's exactly the word that I had. It will come. It's not here now. And of course, that's a very important scenario for a lot of you guys. You want to know if you can go there and just shut down your Team Foundation server, right? Well, that's a good question. You will be able to, but it's not ready yet. Okay. We still have a lot of time left, and that's cool. At least 15 minutes until the hour, right? And if we want to stay for longer, we got like almost half hour. So we have plenty of time. This was the Team Foundation service demo. Let's go back to this slide. I'm happy to continue talking about Team Foundation Service. You'd like to see Git. Is that okay with people? All right. Let's get down to it. All right, so Git. I'm a Git demo. Comment on why so many people are using Git. Why are we going to Git? Yeah. So distributed version control is better than not distributed version control, in the sense that you can commit stuff locally on your box and then take a bunch of those and commit them as a big, or push them back to the source control as a big chunk of here are all my changes. The big advantage there is that all of these little commits are separate. And when you merge with the server, first you got to pull stuff down and merge. When you do that, it's very much easier to do the merging when you have little commits. So the general flow of using Git or Mercurial, it's very much the same, just two different protocols, is to do many small commits on your local box. So people are saying, yeah, well, that's cool. So when you're on an airplane, yeah, I do that all the time. I'm almost always on an airplane coding. Like, it happens so frequently. Like, it really does. So like, when were you ever offline, like, recently? Ever? So it's a silly motivator. No, but the merging thing is the kicker. And what you also can do with Git. So to follow up on your request for the demo, there are a couple of different Git versions that I can show you. Using a local repository is kind of cool. If I have installed Git on my own machine, I can just go Git init, and I have a repository locally. And I can connect that to Azure, and I still get like version control history in my local folder on my local box. And that's kind of cool. That's very useful. And then at some point, probably I'll put it in some Git repository somewhere like GitHub or something like that. So which one should I do? Should I do local Git or should I do GitHub? GitHub, right? I'll do GitHub. GitHub is good. Let's just go and create ourselves a new website. Again, Magnus TechEd Git. Let's do that. Yep, available. I go North Europe. That's where I live, so I'll put it in North Europe. It's we get some more latency from over here, I guess, but I think it's good. All right. So here's my new site. We'll remove the remove that, and remove that. Right. So here's my new site. You can browse to it if you like. Now, to get this into GitHub, first of all, we're going to need a GitHub account. Unfortunately, I have that. And we're going to need a GitHub repository, which I haven't created yet because I want to create a fresh one. And let's do TechEd. TechEd? Nice. I'll just do a public demo thingy here. Just create that. Did I hit it? Oh, creating repository. Right. So I've created my new setup here, and I'm going to copy the URL for it. It's github.com/noapman, my alias /teched.git. That's the URL for it. Now I'll go back to Visual Studio, and I've opened up my Git demo again, the other solution that I had. So it's very much the same thing. And if I want to now go and put this into my GitHub repository, I will show you how to do that. But first, we got to, of course, do the other thing, which is to connect my new and empty. Let's see, TechEd Git was the name of our website. We'll connect the source control, use GitHub, and say yes, authorize. And we'll pick up the TechEd new repository, which is empty. And it's got nothing in there. and could not link the repository TechEd with the, oh, that's nice. Second demo ghost. All right, let's try again. GitHub. So I've been redoing these demos all week long. And this only happens on stage. Now we're good. This page will refresh soon. Okay, so your GitHub repository is linked. If it contains source items, the deployment will appear momentarily, automatically. And we don't have that yet, so we're going to go to our folder where I have the project. And we're going to go git init right here. So now it's a GitHub repository because I've installed Git locally on my machine. What I have to do is go git add all the files that I have in this folder, add it in, and then I need to do a local commit. So git commit with a message initial blah blah. That actually went faster this time. Now all my files are committed locally. I haven't touched GitHub yet, and I can prove it to you, of course, by saying git remote -v. Yeah, I just have to learn these things. And as you can see down there, let's focus on down there. It says origin and upstream, just 2 words, but there are no URLs there. And that's the point of this, because what I have to do is do git remote add, and then give it a name, GitHub, for instance, and paste my URL. So add a remote, add a destination for my code. Go back and check. So now I have this destination called GitHub, where I can push my code, because that's the name of it when you use Git, right? Push, not commit. So let's do that. Let's do git push, and to GitHub. And which version? Well, the master. All right. So this will go there soon. I've already signed in. You know, my GitHub repository knows who I am, so I don't have to give a password or anything. I've already set that up prior to this session. So it's committed, and that means on the right we're deploying. Okay? Automatically, out of the box, everything works, and it's pretty. Deploying, 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 deploying. Deployed. So refresh. Site is up. This is using web deploy in version 2. So the text is kind of screwed up there. So let's go and change that. Let's go and change that and say that it's not version 2. It's the new version only. Right? Let's say that. And it's not web deploy. It's GitHub. Oops, sorry. It's GitHub. Save. Go over here, and you can see that it picks up on the changes. And then now I can just do git commit -am add and message second commit. All right, and then I'll just repeat the push GitHub master thing to get our second deploy on the road. All right, and that's really how easy that is to set that up. I really don't know what else to say other than it's quite powerful and fast. And one reason why it's fast, ask the question again. Yeah, yes, that's right. Yeah, I'm not going to give you a buck, though. Yes, sir, you can actually not do unit tests with this guy because it doesn't work. Let me prove it to you that unit tests are just not here yet. So that my other deployment is already out there. If I go down here and check the deployment script and so forth, it's not in there. Yeah, so what it does here, it uses my web CS project. It uses my web project only. It doesn't even care that I have tests in there right now. And that's a weakness, I admit it. It totally is. I even have the assert fail unit test in there, right? So it's not running the tests, but it's fast, right? So for playing around, mucking about, running my tests locally on my machine, committing it to GitHub and having it deploy real fast, that's cool. It's faster than Team Foundation Service, but it's not doing the same good job as the Team Foundation Service. So, trade-offs. Trade-offs. I like both versions, and I like Git version control a lot, and as soon as Team Foundation Service supports Git version control with continuous delivery to Windows Azure, I'll probably use that. Right now, it doesn't work with the tests. So that is, though, the Git demo. Any questions on the Git demo? Seems quite clear. Good. Good. Again, we have time. Oh, now we don't have a lot of time left. We've used about an hour. So version history is important. And I can show you this right now, the version history demo. That's kind of an important thing. So the version of the site which is up right now is the new version that I wrote and is continuously delivered using GitHub. That's that one, the active deployment. What I can easily do on Windows Azure websites is I can go back in time and redeploy an older version. And that is really fast because it's done. Refresh. Old version. Right? It's actually so fast that I can do it again. Real fast. Right? So the version history thing is a powerful tool in here. It's built in, and I believe it's 5 versions that they save. So if you have continuous delivery to production, and somebody calls you up and says, W2F, or something similar, right? Yeah, I'm not going to say it. Somebody says something like that, you can just go in and click, done, deploy, it's back in 2 seconds to the previous version, which is one of the reasons why some companies are actually doing this to production. Yes, sir?
So if you roll back to a previous deployment and you check in a new one, will it automatically go from?
It'll automatically go to the new one. Yes, that's right. So if you roll back and then you do your fix real quick and do the commit, and then it'll automatically pop up to the new one. Yes.
But if your fix still wasn't fixed, you'll have to roll back again.
Yeah, I have to roll back again. Yes.
If you're using, say, Go First migrations, will those fire as well as part of the rollback?
Yeah. Don't know. I don't think so. So yes, there's still lots of problems here if you change stuff and change the database or things like that. Absolutely, there are things that you don't want to do. Yes, that's right. All right, cool. So I've shown you another demo, actually, real quick. It was the version history demo. So I'm perfectly okay with letting you go if you need to go. Our time is almost up. I had all these extra slides here at the end with my sales pitch because I don't work for Microsoft, but I have this trying it out is 100% free and so forth. And that, I don't know, that's kind of important. But wait, there's more, right? 100% free. Visual Studio Express for free, and all the dev tools and stuff for free. And the Windows Azure portal, or Windows Azure has all of the code on GitHub. You can check it out there and submit a pull request if you need to do a change to the Microsoft code. And try it out is for free as well, and that's really empowering and cool. Using a lot of free Windows Azure resources, you can just go ahead and activate them. Many of you have done this, so I don't need to be a used car salesman. Team Foundation Service is also for free, up to 5 users. If your team is small, if you're a startup, you're using the whole benefit of Team Foundation Service for free, forever, actually. Yes, sir? Oh, yeah, my custom demo? Yeah? Yeah, you can see my custom demo. I can show you. Yeah, we have time. Yeah, we have time. I just don't want to be the guy that keeps you here for 75 minutes. So I'm going to allow people to leave, if you like. But this can be you. Right? Or me, right? I'm sorry? The whip holder, yeah, he doesn't have a whip holder on that one. Good call. Good call. So do enter the Aston Martin contest. That is awesome. And basically, now I'm done, right? I'll go back to the demos and continue for another 11 minutes because some of you guys want to stay and see the secret demo, and that's cool. But I just wanted to make sure if somebody wants to leave that you get. Let's just flip through those. You can, if you want to see them, I can go back to them. And that's, I guess, important too. And some more slides. And this is the important one, but I have it on my last slide. So please, please, eval if you liked it. If you didn't, don't eval. All right. So I have 11 other minutes. You're free to go. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you. And you're also free to stay if you wish. We have time, right? Corner is giving me the nod. So you want to see the secret demo? Yeah, I've been playing it up a lot. So I have this demo here called Some Other Demo, just to be very secretive. Now, did I hear you correct? You asked if I can use other testing frameworks in Windows Azure integration? You asked that, right? Yes, you did, yes. Yeah. So other testing frameworks. So on the Team Foundation service, if you're using it out of the box, no, you cannot. You cannot use NUnit or anything else because it's not installed on the build agents. You can roll your own build agent and use and install NUnit and stuff on there. That's perfectly doable. That's absolutely perfectly doable. And I urge you to do that if you like. Or you can go ahead and do something else. Because I work as a consultant, right? So I don't have the luxury of forcing on my clients to use a specific version of something or a specific program or a specific service. They all use different ones, and I have to roll with it. I have to go with the ones that they use. So I'm going to quickly show you the version control or the configuration management demo. Just closed the wrong tab. I'm actually going to go into Visual Studio and switch solutions as well. That takes a few seconds. All right, so the Some Other Demo website looks like this. Continuously delivered using some secret method. All right. Configuration management is important, and the thing about deploying the connection strings to live production, the dev connection string, and the wrong app settings. I have myself an app setting here, which is called disclose deployment method. If I flip that over to true, I'm going to show you in Visual Studio where that guy lives in my web config. It's set to false as well, the same one in my web config and app settings. So that's the one that I have deployed, the one with the setting false. If I flip it over to true in the portal, it's actually going to intercept and override my app config setting or connection string setting. So the Windows Azure intercepts and overrides the configuration manager.app settings thing and gets the setting. And I can do this and refresh and hey presto, Team City. Anybody using Team City? Some people are using Team City, I know. There are a bunch of people that do that. And, you know, it's okay. I mean, Team Foundation Server is awesome, will be even more awesome in the future, and go ahead and use it. But some people don't, and they will not move to Team Foundation Service, no matter how good it is, because they already have Team Foundation Server, or Team City, and they've used it for years. So what I have done is, so I'm going to go ahead and make myself a small change so that we can kick off our deployment using this method. Let's say that this is the old version of the site. Let's say instead that it's the new version of the site, right? So I have a change. I need to go up one level and down one level to my Some Other Demo folder. I'm in the Some Other Demo folder, and I'm using Git again. I'm actually using GitHub. Git remote -v. I'm pushing this stuff to GitHub, to another repository on GitHub. So I'm using GitHub, and we'll do git add, no, we'll do git commit minus am testing. Cool. And do git push, and I only have one destination, so I'll push that away, and that my code change is being pushed into GitHub, into my repository, and something is picking it up, and we know now that something is TeamCity. TeamCity is picking this up, and where is TeamCity? So I'm running TeamCity here. I'm running it here in the cloud on a virtual machine. Cool. So here we have TeamCity. It's going to take a little while for this thing to show up here, but it will. My build and everything. And we'll see what happens when it does. So I have the world's longest blog post ever. Seriously. This one. Entitled, Continuous Delivery to Windows Azure, Not Only Microsoft Style with TeamCity. Okay? And it's a long, long blog post. Every single step you need to make and take to set this up. Every single step. All right? Let's see what TeamCity is doing. It failed. Oh, no. Why did it fail? Because of the test, Magnus. 1 is not equal to 42. That is correct. 1 is not equal to 42. And by the way, focus in on this, people. Not test class, test fixture, right? And unit. So I'm using another unit testing framework in this demo. And I'll need to go commit, fix. Yeah, but I've never done it. I've never hooked up Subversion to Azure like this. So if I push that in, of course it's going to work. It's going to go through and it's going to deploy. And what's more is that I've taken this all the way into. We say in Sweden we say into the tiles. You know, when you're swimming, like all the way into the tiles. You say that, right? Anyway, all the way until the end, right? I've taken it all the way by making sure that I get. If I go back to my some other demo, 4 minutes to go. If I go back to my some other demo and check the deployments, I have the deployment history there soon. So the deployment history is there, the same as when you're using Team Foundation Service and you get this nice deployment history, or when you integrate straight to Git, you get this nice deployment history, but not the unit tests. So here I get my own unit testing framework, and the history in the portal and everything just the same, right? So it's completely possible to set up. But when you do that, you have to go through the world's longest blog post. So it's painful and not at all out of the box and everything, but it's doable. That, I guess, is my wrap-up line. Thank you guys again for coming. I enjoyed this. Thank you.